The cloud.
Okay. Hello, welcome into the Divinely You podcast, to Saradivinelyyou on YouTube. I appreciate all of you. This is going to be so much fun. Oh my gosh. Okay. Because this is anyway, I have a ton of energy. I want to say, first of all, please feel free to ask questions. I think I'm actually going to start incorporating a little bit of Q&A into my Wednesday videos and podcast recordings. So if you have questions about anything that I present, please leave them in the comments and I will answer those on the Wednesday recordings. So today I thought that I would talk about like some fun things to know about my vision loss. Because I think that like people don't want to ask, maybe, I don't know. And I have like this, I have a tendency to want to like give you the scientific complicated answer. And so I'm really going to make an effort to give you the, I hope you'll understand this. I have to pretend like I'm talking to like 10-year-olds. That's what I've been told. Because I'm really good at speaking to you like way over your head. And anyway, okay, flaws about me. Okay, so I'm going to throw in not only stuff about me, but just stuff in general about vision loss, just to give you kind of an idea of what it's about and all of those things. And so, so first of all, I have a rare congenital birth defect, two of them actually. One of them is called microphthalmia and the other one is called anophthalmia. And in layman's terms, that is small I, micro, and then off the whatever is I. And then anophthalmia is no eye. So I actually have a prosthetic. And so I'm gonna leave it to y'all to determine which is which, because I kind of have fun with that. But I see out of the micro, obviously the microphthalmic eye, and the condition that I have is microphthalmia specifically. Of the hundreds of blind people that I've met in my lifetime, I've met 2 people. Actually, I've met more than that, but I've met 2 functioning adult blind people who have microphthalmia. I've met other people who have microphthalmia, and it's more commonly known with people who have like minimal cognitive functioning, who have multiple compounding conditions, rendering them like they're going to need like a permanent, they're not able to function in real life. And so, the interesting part about the 2 friends that I have, we've all got college degrees. Some of us have run our own businesses. Some of us have worked in bigger companies and whatnot. And so it's really interesting that we're kind of on the intellectual band of the spectrum. So on that spectrum, low vision is a spectrum. So if you meet somebody who is legally blind, that just means they have a low acuity. Okay. If you meet somebody who's totally blind, that means they don't see anything. But legally blind is just a legal definition, kind of to tell us we're not allowed to drive. I happen to know how to drive, that they legally won't let me drive. But the spectrum of low vision is vast. So I'm gonna go a little sciencey for a second, because I want you to really think about the eye itself. Okay, you got this eyeball in your sockets here. That eyeball has multiple layers, right? You've got your retina, you've got your cornea, you've got all of the other layers, right? There's a lot of different layers, and each of those, like the retina has 10 layers alone, right? The cornea has, I want to say 5. And then you've got like your lens, and you've got the things that hold the lens. Okay, so my point in like trying not to dive down the rabbit hole of the science of it is anything can possibly go wrong with any one of those layers and the layers within the layers, right? So like if you meet someone who's colorblind, there's 2 layers of the eye, of the retina, right, which has 10 layers, that can cause you to be colorblind. Okay, so when I've often said in the past, if you really want to know the power of God, study physiology of the human body, right? Specifically the eye and the heart. Those are my 2 favorite ones to point this fact out, because there's so many things that can go wrong. And so be grateful for when that you do have vision, right? I've always been thankful for the vision that I have, since I know so many people with my eye condition who are totally blind. And so low vision can be so vast because anything can go wrong with any one of these multiple layers of the eyeball, right? Okay. That, and vision loss is different, right? Some people can't see peripherally or to the sides. Some people can't see in the front. Like if you have like someone who has macular degeneration, for example, they can't see in the front. Mine, I can see color. I can see my face in the camera that I'm looking at right now. I can see my hand gestures happening. I couldn't tell you the details of what I'm looking at. I couldn't tell you that. I couldn't tell you if I was wearing lipstick or not. I'm not wearing chapstick. But I can see my face. Okay. But for reading, for me, people always want to offer me like the little 2.5 magnifier you get at the drugstore. Look, I need like a 13x magnifier to read print. I need seriously large print, and I always have to bring it super close to my face. Not all people who are visually impaired have this same problem as me, is kind of what I'm trying to point to. So I'm hoping that like I'm putting that out there for you to understand, is like, I can obsess over color. I can obsess over light or lighting. I can navigate during the day, but at night I can't navigate very well. I can, but I'm not great at it, or I guess not as fast at it. Print is really challenging for me, especially print that's like dark, black text on white background. I prefer the opposite. Dark mode is usually the way I go. And sometimes I use a screen reader just because the screen reader is more efficient than trying to read what's going on. But me is not everybody. This is the humanity of blindness, right? Is like, I know other friends who, like, if you send them pictures, they're going to be like, sorry, I don't do pictures, even though they can probably see them, but they choose not to, right? Okay. Whereas I may see a picture and I may ask you, like, what is going on in this picture? Probably will message you privately. But anyway, so the spectrum of low vision is very vast. There's a lot of components, and probably no one person, even one person who has the same eye condition with the same acuity, probably sees things differently, very differently, and interacts with the world differently because we're human. Okay. All right. I think I've beaten that horse, I hope. If you have questions about it, please just pop them in the comments and I will address them. So, vision rehabilitation therapy is a thing, kind of like physical therapy or speech language pathology or occupational therapy, only this focuses on blindness related skills to live in your daily life. And so cooking, if you know, this is more specific for people who are losing their vision, but not entirely, because obviously blind children have to learn at some point how to function independently if they're able to. And so cooking skills and techniques, how, you know, cleaning, laundry, all of the things, how to like personally care for yourself, clipping your nails, washing your hair, makeup if you're going to do makeup, those sorts of things. There's also a special service called Orientation and Mobility that teaches navigation and travel skills. So how do I travel as a low vision person, as a nomad, going all over the country, right? How do I do that? Resourcefulness. Thankfully, we now have smartphones with GPS and cameras, and I can use my smartphone camera to read signs if I need to. I ask people, you know, get support, you know, that sort of thing. So so orientation mobility is learning how to not only travel with a long white cane, or guide dog is different, so I won't talk about that because I haven't done that experience. But orientation mobility is learning how to travel with a long white cane. It's learning how to navigate, learning like skills for navigation, basically. Like, yeah. So vision rehabilitation therapy and orientation mobility are things that are used by people who are blind or low vision. Okay, accessibility in technology. And this is what I tend to focus a lot of these Tuesday videos on, is accessibility in technology. I personally use a lot of different settings at different times, depending on what I'm doing. For these videos, I use VoiceOver on my laptop. VoiceOver is built into macOS and iOS. It's a screen reader, and it reads the screen as I navigate around it. So I use the keyboard to navigate through it, and the screen reader tells me what button I'm on, what function I'm on. It reads text, et cetera, et cetera. On my mobile devices, I sometimes use VoiceOver, but I always use dark mode, and I use like color invert and things like that. I also use a lot of like minor settings like bold text, large text, those sorts of things. And so all of that. So I'm not expecting you to like understand like all of the different settings. I'm saying that there's a lot of things that I do to make my devices work for me that you probably don't even know about. And you think that like, if you're DMing me, you're like, you have no idea what I am actually using to read the message you sent, or to identify a symbol or a picture or a GIF that you've sent. Sometimes I'll just tell people, look, I don't get the GIF, okay? Because most of them I don't get, because I don't get pop culture. So anyway, so that's a lot. I just wanted to put a lot of that out there. A lot of this was me. A lot of this is like, just remember that every person that you meet is a human, and we're all unique for a reason. So you can meet another human who's blind or low vision, and they may be completely different than me, or maybe just a little different than me. So anyway, I hope you found this to be helpful. Like I said, please leave your questions in the comments. I'll pick them up and answer them in the Wednesday videos. And thank you so much for tuning in on the podcast, on YouTube, and all of that. And I just want to end this video by saying that today is a day when the moon is in a water sign. It's in Scorpio. I'm an Aquarius, and it's Aquarius season, and I have a massive headache. So I'm gonna go take care of my headache. But I'm so happy that I brought this video to you today. It made my day, honestly. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye. Stop recording now.